What are your thoughts on policing in America?
Well, I mean, as a young man growing up in America, policing always been to me the threat. There's never been the help. And when I say that, I'm not saying all police officers, because I do, I went to the YWY, I went to the different gyms and stuff, and most of the time you got police officers that give their time, and they're helping young children, young men, young women to learn life skills. But white police officers. And then as I matured in life, I learned that white police officers also extended to black police officers that wanted to please white police officers. So you learn to maneuver through this society. You learn to look out for, you learn who that negative cop is. You learn who he is in the neighborhood. You know for a fact, and that negative cop used to be a black cop, but you learn also that you definitely don't want to deal with these white cops. But this particular one that's in the community that's African American or African descent, you really you learn who he is. And then you learn who the nice officer is. You learn who the officer is that will give you a fair shake. You learn that in your community. But the boom in building new prisons and jails has took this to a whole different level now. Now the police officer is like a farmer, and he must harvest the crops. He has to go out there. It's been put on him, on his shoulders, to gather the crops. Get many as you can in here. Not where, like in a suburban community where your father gonna get you, I'm gonna give you a ride home because you've been drinking, or you was driving without your license, or whatever the case would be. That don't happen in the inner city. And in the inner city, every little fragment of any crime, we got you. In fact, if we can't even get you in nothing, we're gonna give you something. Because we need to fill up the jails. Most cities always talk about crime. Oh, our crime rate, we need to get it down. If you really look at that and notice the cities that talk about that, these cities depend on crime to exist. If in St. Louis, if we was to cut the crime today, right today, if we was to go out on the streets, fathers, mothers, and we was to go in our communities, and we was to reduce crime 50%, how many people at City Hall would lose their jobs? Yeah, about 50%. You see, so we say we want that, but we really don't want that. This is a commercial business. Okay, so it is because it's only practiced in a certain area. It's not practiced. I mean, when you talk about 13% of the population of the country occupy 96% of the jail space, something is wrong with that. I'm not no math whiz, but 13% of 100%, how can it be 90% of anything? You know, that's ridiculous. Over 6 million African Americans are in jail. 6 million. Now, just look at that now. If 6 million more people could vote, if 6 million more people was on the street to work, if 6 million more people was able to do, could you imagine what that would do to the major cities in this country? I don't think they want that. I think they want you the perception that make you think they want that, but I don't think they want that. As an African American male, I have been. I expect it. I don't drive in any counties. I stay within the city. I have to be very careful what I do. I'm a businessman. And I have been victimized by all types of falsehoods and lies and by the system, straight up. I mean, and then we say, well, is that racism? Yes, it is. And the racism may even be brought to me by African American. Why? The African American got the job. That job, to keep the job, you need to show them that he's not going to be biased or he's not going to be favorable to me. Himself. He have to come, he got to let them know, I don't care if he's black. I'm going to nail him down. I'm gonna make sure this oath, and not necessarily, it goes further than a badge. It's the bank. It starts at the bank. It starts at the school. It starts in small places. You go into a bank. I have been a businessman to go into and check my own account and get grilled at my bank because I'm black, where I put my money. I have went into the school system and seen my grandchildren or my children, even my son, being victimized because he's black. But we over a period of time, because of what's at stake, we allow this to go on.
That leads me into my next question. A lot of people want to say it's not about race. It's not racism. Do you believe if your son, Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, would have been a white kid and it would have been a black cop, would this have played out a lot different?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. If you ask any black police officer, or be honest with yourself, if you pulled your gun out and you shot a young white man, it's unspeakable to think of a female, but if you shot a young white man and he did not have a gun, that same blue wall will turn their back on you. Because as a people, they have more pride and they care more about themselves than we do. So they're not gonna allow you to kill their children. They're not gonna allow that. So it's a hidden racism because what happens is a lot of times these shootings are with black cops. My son was shot by two Hispanics and a black, and another cop that was there that just didn't fire, and he probably got reprimanded for that. But it's the same thing, because what motivated them to do their job is to be accepted by the white or Caucasian or systematic based people. You have to be accepted. It's a rite of passage. You have to prove yourself to get your retirement, to be that officer that you need to be. You need to go on the street and you need to bust some head. You need to kick some butt. You need to kill them if you have to. This is what you need to do. And that, not like I said, let's not say this is just cops. Let's say in every field, every business, corporate world, you must prove yourself. You got to prove yourself. How far are you going to go for the company?
Mr. Mohammed, what is the solution?
Well, it's a collective solution. And that's why it's so hard to get to it, because we need to do a bunch of things. We need to pull back within the community, African American communities. We need to take our monies and invest it back into our community. We need to hold each other responsible when we don't do what we're supposed to do in our communities. We do have a lot of, I know a lot of police officers that are excellent police officers. We need to reward police officers that go their tenure and don't kill nobody. That guy needs to be held high, white or black. We need to say, officer, you did 25 years or 30 years and then you're ready to retire, and you never killed anybody. we need to try to keep them around to teach the new officers that's coming in how to get to that same point, because they did something wrong. I mean, they did something right. I mean, you know, they did something right. The system probably think they did something wrong, but we know they did something right. We need to teachers that have a success rate, that children come back and go off to college. We need to reward them, you know, and we need to take some self-pride. Now, this is one thing I really, every time I get in talk to people about these things, we always talk about black on black crime. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. The crime is usually done to people that know you. That's just how it goes. It's usually someone that know you that kill you. All right? White people die too, and they get killed too. We never talk about Timothy McVeigh. We don't mention that. I mean, ride up to a building and just blow up 100-some people. The Unabomber, or all these different incidents we see children going in the malls just shooting everybody. Right? This is white on white crime. This is mass murder in its finest. We don't mention that. We'll talk about a drive-by. The news will put equal to what happened in Oklahoma to a drive-by. The drive-by would get just as much play as the 100-some people was killed in Oklahoma. So we need to do several things. We need to pull into each other, and we need to. But it's kind of hard to do that when we depend on everything. Everything that we get to take back to our communities is something out. And to be as a black businessman,